Hi, I'm Alex Vassar from the State Library. In October, a book came home to the State Library that had been checked out for a very, very long time. I'm here with Stephanie Manansala to unpack the story. Stephanie, can you tell us what happened?
So I'm the head of the Information Services section at the California State Library. And for some context, the California State Library was established in 1850, and it is the central reference and research library for state government and the legislature. The library collection includes more than 4 million titles, 6,000 maps, and 250,000 photographs. Within that, the Information Services section provides books and other materials on a wide variety of topics of interest to both state government employees and the general public. We were contacted recently by the granddaughter of a patron who checked out a book from a soldiers and sailors library in 1917 and never returned it.
Never returned it.
That's
Terrible.
right.
Terrible. Can't believe libraries are doing videos on overdue books. We actually had a really fun time talking with the family and learning more about the history of the book. As a young man, Ernest Garfield Coffey worked on fishing vessels and delivered wares from stores using a horse and wagon. At 19, he moved to the Yukon Territory and worked in a gold mine with his brother. So in 1917, as World War I was raging in Europe, Coffey, who was later called Pop by his family, was working for the Army Corps of Engineers at Fort Stevens in Oregon and borrowed the book from the American Library Association's Soldiers and Sailors Library. If you look at the history, the American Library Association actually distributed 10 million books to service members through branches of the War Service Library across the country and in Europe. So Stephanie, you have something behind you.
I do.
What is that?
So this is an original American Library Association war work campaign poster from World War I. And that's right, as you said, the American Library Association worked across the country to distribute books and other material to service members, both here and abroad, to make sure that they had reading material for pleasure and to, I think kind of take their mind off of what was going on in Europe at the time when they were able to do that.
Talking with family, they told me that the story continued. Mr. Coffey later worked in Portland at the shipyards until the end of World War I, and the book traveled with him. He kept it. It came with Coffey to Vallejo in 1921, and he worked at Mare Island Naval Shipyard for the next 35 years, driving a suction dredge, very important, keep the waterways clear, as well as building wharfs. After his passing at age 98, the book passed on to one of his daughters. He had 9 kids, 8 daughters and 1 son. So the book actually went to one of his daughters. And following the passing of his daughter, they traveled to a granddaughter who now lives in Lafayette. And she actually hadn't had a chance to look through her grandfather's books until the COVID pandemic. And during the lock-in, as many of us have had, she had extra time at her house. And so she started going through the books, and she realized that one of the books was this book from the library that had been checked out in 1917, was due back in 1918, and had never been returned. And while we definitely don't want everybody who has one of the 10 million books that were distributed through this program to send them in to us, please, folks, we really did like that this book has a story. We know the story. We know where it's been, and it really lets us connect with part of our collection. So yeah, definitely very cool to see the book as it traveled through time, up and down the Pacific coast, and through 3 generations of a family. Stephanie, can you tell us about the library's plans for the book?
Yeah, so as you said, it's such a cool story, and this book now is not just a book anymore. It is a treasure because it has this story connected to it, and we're just so glad to get it back. A lot of times people ask about what would the fine be, for it being so late. Well, we really don't care about that. We're just glad to have it and have the story that came with it, and to know more about this young man who checked out a book when he needed it. And so we're going to keep it and enjoy it and allow the public to enjoy it too.
So we did want to thank the Coffey, Johnston, Lathrop families for taking care of this book, for giving it a home for more than 100 years, and then for returning it to us and telling us the story and sharing family photos and really helping us connect. We loved it. If you'd like to be like Mr. Coffee, although you do have to turn your books in on time, we would encourage you to stop by the branches of the California State Library in San Francisco and in downtown Sacramento. We're not open right now because of the ongoing COVID pandemic, but we really do look forward to seeing all of you in the near future.
Yes, we do.